Hi. Well, guess what? Your wishing machine is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step you through the unboxing of your wishing machine. This is what your package will look like, except it'll have your address on it and postage paid. So follow along. I'm going to take my time. I'm going to cover a lot of information, and let's open up your wishing machine. You can have yours right in front of you as I do this, because this is what yours will look like here. Except they are all personalized, which we'll talk about that a little bit too. So anyway, you've gotten your box. It is not real heavy, but it's got some little bit of weight to it. Have yourself comfortable, and as we go through this, make sure you've got a place to plug things in. Okay, near you. I've got a little extension cord with this some outlets on it here, so I can go through this with you. So get comfortable and enjoy a few minutes with me as we go through your personal wishing machine. Be careful when you open the box. It'll be taped right here. Just open it up not to dig into the box, because there's quite a bit of stuff in here. The first thing that you're going to see as you open the box is going to be a couple of manuals. There'll be more packaging material in here than what I have in this box. It's almost ready to go, but not quite. So I want to make sure it arrives safely and securely and undamaged to you. You're going to find two books here. This one I'm going to try to conceal the name of the person here, but this is, it talks the information about your life path number and your birthstone, and both of these are used to very much personalize your wishing machine. The more you know about you, the better results for your intentions and the better decisions you'll make in putting your intentions out. So that's the purpose of this, and it's going to talk about your life path number as well as your birthstone. That's why I asked for your birth date. Next is a much thicker book here that covers the basic instructions for using your wishing machine. Why does your wishing machine have a purple plate when if you get online you find that everybody else's has got a white plastic plate? That's going to be discussed in detail in this book. Then there's an orgone pyramid in here. It's a nice looking device. You don't see that at other people's wishing machines either, but you're getting that for a special reason. And then the Tesla coil. Wow, you purchased the LOA 777, which is the most beefed up, most powerful wishing machine on the market today, and it has this. Wait till you see this in action. It's going to amplify your intentions in the most powerful way, so you get the results that you're wishing for. So make sure that besides just watching this video, take the time, sit back with a cup of coffee or whatever, and go through this. Take your time with it. This will probably answer the majority of your questions. If you've gone through it thoroughly and you find something that you don't understand or question that you just wasn't answered to your liking, give me a call. I'll talk to you personally. As you read the reviews about me and what I do, you'll find that I'm easy to get a hold of, and I'm here to serve you. Next, you're going to find this little bag full of little cords and alligator clips, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So I'm going to set that aside for the moment. Then you're going to find this power cord. This goes to your Tesla coil. We're going to set this aside for a moment. We're going to get into that later as well. Then we're going to have more packing material. And be careful when you get around here. Remove things carefully, because there is a couple of components here that you could, you just don't want to mess it up. So be very careful. Wrapped in this bubble wrap is the orgone pyramid. I'm going to set this aside for the moment. We're going to talk about this. And then, very carefully, I'm going to lift out your Tesla coil this is what you want to be careful with. I don't know if you can see it here or not, but there's a little copper wire. You want to make sure that that is intact. Kind of turn that to the right to make sure it hasn't worked loose. It's screwed tight, okay? In the meantime, just like the pyramid, just a little bit. We're going to set this aside. We are going to get into this momentarily. Now for your wishing machine. It is secured. It fits almost perfectly in this box. So I'm going to lift this out very carefully. And I'm going to get the shipping box out of the way. And now we're going to talk about your wishing machine. Okay? You'll notice that mine has 5 knobs on it. Some people have 6 knobs, some people have 9. The way that I built mine, these dials set a certain rate. 5, from my experience, is a good enough number, a perfect enough number to get your intentions fulfilled. So, you've got this little bag here, we're just going to let that aside right now. You've got your Orgon pyramid, we're going to set that aside right now. You notice we have this all open and cleared up now. You'll notice on the back here is a little, I need to get this tape off of here. It's not necessary, that was only to secure it for a brief period of time as I was laying some glue set in. So I'm going to get rid of that now. This is going to be sealed. You're not going to open this box. You have absolutely no need to open the box. In this box are your birthstone, crystals, a special amplifying plate is in the bottom of this, and of course the wiring to connect all these together, along with the wire that connects to the purple plate, and of course on the input side as well. All that's in here. So there's also, the purpose of this is there's a special light inside this box. This is the on and off switch for that. And also there's a little plastic tab at the bottom that it's not going to come on until you pull that little plastic tab out and then cut this on. You have no need to see that light. But when you've got your intentions ready, and we're going to step through this, you'll want to set this on. I would not leave it on 24/7, but for a while I would leave this on. There are 2 batteries in here, so you don't have to plug that in anywhere. But there's a little plastic tab, I'll go over this again, and there is a on and off switch here. That's how you would get the insides of this machine lit up. Okay, now the basics. You have an intention. Your intention, let's say, is you need $1,000 for a repair bill. The best way to do that is to not put $1,000, but to say put the intention of, I need this repair. Sometimes repair can get done without the money. Put the actual result that you're looking for here. You want $1,000 for, let's just say you wanted a certain amount of, you want to go on a vacation. So the intention would be vacation. The intention would not be the $2,000 you need for the vacation. You see where I'm going with this. And this is covered in detail also in your instruction manual. You would place your intention, whatever you're using to manifest that intention would go on this copper plate on the left. And you see, different to some, I have this copper metallic plate circling this purple plate here. We're going to talk about this purple plate as well, and it's gone in detail in this book as well. So I'm going to show you how to use this. The details of all this are going to be covered in your instruction manual. So right here, whatever you're using to manifest your intention will go here. It could be a $100 bill. money is your object. It could be a picture of the beach if you want to go to the beach. It could be a picture of a castle if you want to go spend a night in a castle. It could be a picture of a car if you're wanting to have a car. You see where I'm going with this. And that's going to be covered again in more detail. So use your imagination to whatever you're doing to manifest your intention. Some people simply write on a little post-it note or a piece of paper and place it right there on the input intention on the copper plate there. Along with that, you want to put your target there. Some people might even place their driver's license there if it's them. Some people might put just a picture of themselves. You could use a hair trimming, anything like that to manifest the target. So when you begin, you've got your intention and the target on the copper plate. All the dials are set to 0. These dials go to 100. Different machines are using different components. I have 5. 5 is going to set that rate that you need to get that intention sent out there. Then I've got these other components that are going to work well. So you're going to start at 0. You'll see there's nothing on the purple plate at this point. All these are set at 0. So at this point, you're going to make sure that this plate is clean. Some people take a little paper towel or a little cloth, a little bit of rubbing alcohol, make sure it's clean, make sure their hands are clean, and then you're going to take your finger and you're going to swipe with your right hand, and then your left hand. You're going to start slowly, very slowly, turning this dial. At some point, you're going to feel a little bit of drag. That's where you would stop turning that dial. It's real smooth, and at some point, you just feel a little drag there. You stop turning that dial. Then you go to the next one, and you do the same thing. This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the order you're going to go in. So you're doing the second one, and as soon as you feel a little bit of difference there, just a little bit of drag, that's what we call it a stick, you're going to stop. And then you're going to go to the next one. You're going to do this with all 5 knobs. And then, at that point, these dials are set. At that point, you're going to take whatever you're using to manifest the target, which could be a picture of you, and you're going to place it on the purple plate. And then you're going to look at these knobs, and if this one stopped at 20, is where you first felt the drag, and the total of the on the dial it goes up to 100. So you're going to turn this to 80, because 20 and 80 equals 100. That gives you 100%. This one stopped at 30. Then you're going to go and you're going to set it now at 70. If this one stopped at 10, then you're going to go and you're going to set this at 90, because you want the total sum to be 100. If this was at 50, you're going to leave it at 50, because 50 and 50 is 100. If this one was set at 80, then you're going to move it back to 20, because 80 and 20 is 100. Then you're set. That is the way most people's wishing machines work and stop at that point. You're set, they set it aside. And they get results. But we're going a step further. First of all, and the explanation of this is in that book. I'm not going to cover the details of the purpose why we use this, but we're going to use this kind of like a paperweight. You're going to put this orgone pyramid on top of your intention, kind of in the center. You need this space here opened up, because this is where your Tesla coil is going to sit, okay? So we're going to set that aside. You've got the orgone pyramid. It's kind of in the center there, and it's sitting on top of whatever you're using to manifest your intention. And then, now, we're going to get, and don't ever pick this up here. Always pick it up by the base. You're going to remove this little packaging material that's wrapped around this coil. Get it out of the way. Now this is what you make sure that the input plugs over here, okay, in the back, right there. You're going to set it at this far left-hand corner. When I say left-hand, you're going to be sitting in front of the box the same way I am. This will be the back and this will be the front. So you got this sitting similar to a paperweight right on top of whatever you're manifesting your intention with. And then you're going to set the coil right there. And it's going to sit right at this corner. And this ultimately is what it's going to come out to look like. Then we're going to take and we're going to apply some power to this coil. You will see there is a slot to plug in the power cord. Now I've got in the instruction booklet just some don'ts when using this coil. This is an electronic device. Do not touch the coil. Do not touch any components of this while it is on. And it'd be pretty obvious as to why. So I'm going to plug this in. This is the only part of this, and you'll see immediately I've already had the on switch on. The on switch to this is actually on the power cord. So now the coil is doing its job. The details of the Tesla coil, what it does, how it works, are also in that manual. I'm not going to go over those details, just like the purple plate, the Oregon pyramid, and the Tesla coil. I'm not going to cover that in this tutorial video. But you will see now that the coil is doing its job. The pyramid, Oregon pyramid, is doing its job. The purple plate is doing its job. What you don't want to do is you don't want to put this with the coil plugged in and turned on in any confined spaces. You want this out in the open, and it is best left on when you're in the vicinity. Use this as a power boost when you're sitting back ready to meditate and sit with this wishing machine near you. Don't turn it on and then leave your home and leave it unattended. Safety precaution, okay? So this is not only a power tool and an amplification tool to really get your intentions out into the universe and get the best results timely, but it's also aesthetically appealing, if you notice. It's interesting to look at. Radionics is not something that we truly understand how it works. We have theories, but we know from experience that it works. My background covers several areas of life. One of my early interests was radio. One of the first radios that I built was called a crystal radio. I found it just totally fascinating that I could build a radio that had no electronics in it. In other words, it had no power source, but yet I could receive radio stations. Nikola Tesla realized that it's all about energy. All of this is energy. You're sending intentions out. You will become one with your wishing machine. I made it very personal to you. Now that's not to say that this could not work for a friend if you wanted to loan it to them, just like your cell phone. Your cell phone becomes very personal to you. But you can still let a friend use it. But it's still yours. You've got all the components. You identify with your phone. It becomes part of you. And it's the same way with this. Go over the material in the instruction manual. Go over this again if there's anything that you feel that I didn't cover good enough for you. To have this light on inside, just like the Tesla coil, I would not leave it on constantly. I would use this Tesla coil and this light when I'm in a situation where I'm sitting in the room with the wishing machine and I want to be near it at that point in time to work on amplifying what my intention is. Now, remember this bag of goodies? We're going to get into that now. There are extra components in here that if I'm providing it to you because there are experiments you can run with a Tesla coil. And there is a little instruction manual that will be with that. If you are so inclined, you can read that and you can play around and experiment with other things this coil will do that has no bearing on its usage with the wishing machine. So you can simply choose to ignore These are the little components here that only for those that want to kind of experiment. Now, you see on your wishing machine you have an input jack and an output jack. The jack is the same size that you would use for a headphone jack, like when you set cell phone or whatever, a 3.5 millimeter. So let's say that your intention is something that is just too big to really set comfortably on this input plate. You could plug this in, the input. You could of course stretch this out and use this alligator clip. Let's say that you have something, you could get a metal pan and put your intention in that metal pan and attach this with the alligator clip to a corner of that metal pan. So the metal pan becomes your input plate. Now you also have an output. The same thing. If you're sitting in this position here, you've got this, you've got the pyramid, you've got everything set up. Let's say you just want to get, let me really get this boosted up. I've got my picture as a target here, but I'm going to be sitting with it. I want it directly to me. Come to the output here, and you can attach this to your clothing, to a hat or whatever, and have the machine directly connected to you. Is it going to make a big difference? It could. I'm not going to say it won't. It's not necessary, but it could boost things. You're using your energy with this machine. This machine does not function solely on its own. It becomes part of you, and you are, it's a part of it, and it's your energy and your intention that's working through this. This is like an amplification tool. This is like some people would call this like the Catholics use prayer beads. I call it the law of intention on steroids. We all have the way we want to view this that pretty much comes out all the same. So I hope that your intentions are clearly good and that your wishes come true and that this serves your best interest. Please go through the manual very carefully. Watch this video more than once if you need to, and keep me informed. Let me know how this works for you. Best wishes.